Welcome and thank you for staying with Earthcheck. And we are joined by the Director, Computer for Schools Kenya, and also the WIS Center, Bwana Tom Musili. Welcome to the show and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So, could you please give us a brief introduction to Computer for Schools Kenya?
Computers for Schools Kenya is a non-government organization working in this country to provide ICT in education. We are in every county, every location in this country, and we have regional centers to make sure we reach to the schools in 5 areas like Northeastern, Coast, and Western. WIS Center came to being in 2007. At that time we had deployed about 80,000 computers to schools. And then there was a top dumping of electronic waste computers in this country.
Okay.
And we took the initiative to make sure that did not happen to Kenya by starting Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Center, where these obsolete old computers can find their home when they are dead, and they are recycled in a proper manner that is friendly to the environment.
What would you say is the status of electric and electronic waste in Kenya currently?
The status of electronic dumping on sports in this country is still very bad. And the reason is many institutions and organizations are still holding to them. They are keeping them to offices, and when it comes to disposing, they are selling them to the informal sector. They are selling, for example, a computer 100 shillings, and what happens to the informal sector? The people collect. They'll pick that gadget they want in that computer and dump the rest.
What are the standards that a facility has to meet before it has been licensed by NEMA to handle electronic waste?
For a facility to be licensed by NEMA, it must meet some set standards. First, there must be an environmental impact assessment to check whether where it is treated is the ideal place. Also, the communities around, they have to give a yes to the facility, and what equipment the facility has, the expertise of the staff, all that has to be taken into consideration, and the type of waste to be disposed. E-waste belongs to solid waste, but very dangerous. Most of our problems in today is caused by e-waste, by the industrial chemicals. That's why we are having serious cases of cancer and failure of internal organs like kidneys, liver, and all that. And it's a serious thing that must also be separated from solid waste. And that's why we have been waiting for regulations to enact that will regulate the way electronic waste should be handled. We don't have any regulations, but we have guidelines. And you know, guidelines are not enforceable. It's just to tell people this is what you should do. So if you find somebody dumping electronic waste somewhere, there is no law to convict that person. And that's why we have many dumping sites, and all over things are dumped. And I tell you, like the motherboards, when those things are laid on and the water gets to the water streams, I tell you that it contains heavy metals and causes death to human beings. Not only human beings, even plants.
As a plant, who do you serve? Can an individual bring their electronics, or do you just deal with schools and institutions?
This plant here is the biggest in East and Central, and is able to handle all the electronic waste for this country. We have also the capacity to help our neighbors in the East African region. And I'll be going there to help them set up similar, smaller facilities.
Okay, so the process is rather technical and you definitely need resources, for instance, to ship what you cannot process here. Who are your partners, and would you say you've gotten enough support?
Our partners locally, we have main partners Safaricom, Oracle, we have Samsung, we have Total. We have even the UN and embassies are very supportive working with us because they understand the dangers of electronic waste, especially where they come from. Overseas, we are working with Belgium. We have the biggest recycling facility in Belgium. We're also working with Netherlands and UK. And this to make sure also we are able to borrow the standards from Europe because we don't have a regulation. So we have to follow what is happening in Europe. And we make sure we are to that standard.
So, as a facility, do you have the capacity to handle all the electronic waste in Kenya, given that you're planning to increase awareness? And what are your plans in the near future?
We have the capacity here to handle the electronic waste in Kenya because for a month we can do 75 tons and we are only doing 25. So we have the capacity. If the regulation is passed, we can take all the electronics in this country. And as you know, government is the biggest order of electronic waste. They are keeping their stores. So if they can release all that, we can be able to operate to full capacity. Electronic waste is dangerous. If you have any electronic waste, mobile phone, computers, anything, bring it here at our center here, Center. We are situated at Mihango and Bakasi along the Eastern Bypass, and we can help you dispose your equipment in a proper manner that is friendly to the environment. Thank you very
much. Did you know that approximately 350 million phones are thrown away every year? This roughly translates to 6 billion Kenyan shillings worth of gold and silver motherboard components. Well, now you know. The following pictures were taken in Githurai Market in Nairobi County. And as you can see, these are photos of various traders selling second-hand electronics in the streets. And it gets us wondering, do they have the relevant information and know-how in handling electronic waste? Relevant authorities, please do something. Well, that's all the time that we had on today's episode of Earthcheck. I believe that you've learned and I believe that you've been inspired enough to want to let go of all those electronic and electric devices in your house that you no longer need or you no longer use because it poses a threat to your health and the health of those that you do care about. And of course, make sure that you interact with us on our various social media platforms because we love to hear from you. Send us those pictures. Let us call out those people that are not taking responsibility of our environment. I'm Farida Patrick. Till next time, bye-bye and God bless you.